In response to Mr. Nielsen's claims regarding the supposed need for the federal government to increase California's transportation infrastructure fund, my partner and I aim to present evidence that successfully refutes his affirmative claims. To start, the provided evidence by the American Society of Civil Engineers, presented by Daryl on the infrastructurereportcard.com, is correct. California did score a C- in transportation infrastructure, but compared to the national average of a D+ in the same area of expenditure, there are obviously other states suffering from more poor transportation and infrastructure. So my question is, why is California at the top of the federal? Why should California be at the top of the federal government's priority list regarding infrastructure funding? And from the same website, I found that states such as Indiana, Illinois, Kansas, and Louisiana scored lower than or equal to the California grade based on the same grading scale. 2 D+ for Indiana and Illinois, and then also 2 C- for Kansas and Louisiana. Should the federal government prioritize California above these states when they are ranked lower and or equal to that infrastructure grading scale? Also, according to that same website presented by the American Society of Civil Engineers, the California's highway vehicle miles traveled in 2009 was approximately 8,647 per capita, ranking it 40th in the nation. When California's driving miles is that much lower than 39 other states, why should the federal government prioritize funding on infrastructure in California when many other states for that matter, use their roads more frequently? Mr. Nielsen also brings up an article provided by the Smart Growth America concerning the condition of roads in 2008. I looked at this article, and upon my analysis, it also stated a plan for those roads conditions to be improved by 2012. The article states that California aims to have less than 30% of state-owned roads in poor condition by 2012. But according to the Infrastructure Report Card website, as of 2013, there are still 68% of California's roads to be considered in poor or mediocre condition. With the federal, local, and partnership expenditure on California's transportation infrastructure over the past 5 years, the roads in California have yet to improve. Roads in need of repair throughout California mostly consist of rural roads, which are typically less traveled. According to the transportationcalifornia.org, in 2011, California's non-interstate roads rural roads had a death rate of 2.86 deaths per 100 million vehicle miles traveled, as opposed to 0.68 per 100 million vehicle miles on other roads. And although that death rate is higher, it takes a lot longer for a rural road to add up 100 million vehicle miles. So per year, the amount of deaths on all other roads is still going to be higher than the amount of deaths per year on rural roads. As for the high-speed rail project in California, my opponent claims that this project will provide economic growth and connectivity between second-tier cities and larger cities like LA and San Francisco. However, Joseph Vranick, Wendell Cox, and Adrian Moore from the Reason Foundation estimate that the high-speed rail system would result in actual economic losses of between $124 to $373 million a year. These losses incur from the lower than expected ridership of this high-speed rail. The estimation has gone down over 60% from the time that the plan was first implemented. The obvious alternative to the high-speed rail would be the current system of just riding a plane. Riding a plane is much more cost-effective for riders as well as the entire economy as a whole. I searched on southwestair.com for flight prices, and you can get a flight from LAX to San Francisco for as low as $69 per flight if you book it within 12 months in advance, while the expected ticket cost for the high-speed rail would be $81 per person per trip. This system already exists, and it would be unnecessary to put a bunch of money into building a new rail system.